came out good. I have to admit. It did come out good. Came out better than how I expected it to. But welcome everybody. Let's start right there. Welcome. My name is Troy, and if you're new to my channel, and I am a Jamaican artist living here in the city of Florence, South Carolina. I do a lot of sculptural work, and that's my specialty. But I also do drawings, paintings, murals, designs. All of the things that I do actually inform my sculptural work. So my sculptural work are a lot of designs and so forth. I love this piece. One of the reasons why I love this piece is the two colors that I actually use. I call it duality, and if you know, duality has to do with opposite or polar opposites or sides, two different sides. So I decided to use complementary colors in this piece. Orange on one side, blue on one side. These small works that I've been doing recently, if you know my larger works, I do works that are like 4 feet, 5 feet tall. But for these smaller works, I'm really enjoying what I've been doing with these smaller works recently. And I think that I'm concentrating a lot more on design, on color, and shapes, and so on. And I'm really excited about that. I'm eager to see what type of work I'll be creating like 6 or 7 months from now. I want to see how well I improve. That's one of the reasons I created this channel in the first place. To have like a visual log, a visual vlog, and also to show people how I create my work, just to record the process of my work. I did this last week, and I want to walk you through the process and show you how I did it, how I cut the wood out, how I combine everything, and how I chose my colors. So I want you to sit back and relax and join me on this episode of Troy's Art, and let me show you how I create this piece. Before we go into that, please like, comment, subscribe. Subscribing is the most important thing. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you can be alerted every single time I upload a video. Anyway, without further ado, let me take you into the process of how I created this, and let me walk you through it now. Let's go. Let's do it. Alright, so here we go. So right away, I got a sheet of plywood. It's actually half-inch sheet of plywood, and I bought it at my local hardware store. I tried to choose the best possible plywood or the best possible materials to do my sculptural work. I used the ceramic mask, I put it in the middle and I traced around it, and then afterwards I actually created a design around that traced area to give me an idea of how my design would look. So if you notice, I have my ruler here and I'm working the design out step by step, play by play, design by design. I try to use the ruler. It is a straight edge, but it's a flexible enough ruler that I can create curves with it. And if you notice right here, I'm using the ruler in a curved pattern, in a curved fashion. Just a little trick and skill that I learned. After I created this entire design, and I've been using this design in most of my wall hanging so far. So what I wanted to do, I wanted to experiment and see how the design would look in a different way. So I took a picture of it and I placed that photograph in my iPad Pro in a program called Procreate. And it's like I redesigned the shape of that diamond, shape that I'm always using, because I wanted to know how it would look. After redesigning it, I decided not to use the shape that I redesigned in the iPad Pro because I didn't think it was appropriate, in all honesty. After I'm sure about the shape that I want, I use my jigsaw and I cut out the intricacies of the shape and create that diamond shape. But this diamond shape that I created now is a lot different. It's the same shape, but it's a little bit different than the one that I used the last time. I use my sander to sand off the surface. Right here, I use a 2-part epoxy to fuse the mask face on top of the wood. I used two different primers here. I was using the Kills primer right here. I didn't like how it was looking. It was bubbling up, so I decided to change and use the Rust-Oleum primer in this section. I'm kind of wiping off the Kills right here because I didn't like how it was coming out. So I decided to just use the Rust-Oleum primer, spray it on, so I can have a nice even coating. I normally just give it one flat coat and use something else. Kind of raise it up on the surface a little bit because I realized that I wanted to get to the sides and I didn't want to kind of have the paint bubbling up or bundling up to the sides of my sculpture. And remember, all parts of the sculpture count, even if it is sculpture. So if you notice, I'm changing here. I didn't like how the Kills was working, so I decided to use the Rust-Oleum primer. I gave it one nice coat on top and I allowed that to dry overnight until it was completely dried. And then I decided to use a different white primer on top. One of the important things I want people to understand is that when you're doing your designs, make sure that you have a nice white surface. The white surface is extremely important because that will allow your colors to pop. Even if you're going to put multiple coats of color, don't just do it on a bare surface. You want to make sure that you have a nice white surface. And I learned that from a television show I used to watch when I was younger, about some guys spraying cars. They would always spray the car white first before they added the color. I didn't see why. I didn't know the reason why, but after going to school, I realized that you need a nice white surface. All right, even though I had a surface of Kills, I decided to put one nice white acrylic coating over the top before I started to put my designs. I decided to use curves, as last time I used a lot of straight edges, kind of like a cubist fashion. This time I decided to use curves. After doing that, I went right in with my orange. I mixed my orange with a little bit of reds because I wanted to pop some more. I decided to do one side first. I was using the strongest hue or the strongest chroma of the color, which is the orange. And then after that, I used the blue on the other side because I wanted to see how they work together. I decided to do one side orange and the other side blue and do tints of those colors. If you don't know, tint is any color that you add white to. If you add white to blue and it becomes light blue is a tint of blue. If you add white to orange and it becomes light orange is a tint of orange. So I was just working with tints. I always start with the dark colors first and then I work lighter and lighter as I go on. Now the reason why I decided to use orange and blue, because if you look at the color wheel, the 16 color wheel, or if you're looking at just the let's say the 6 color wheel, any color that is opposite to each other on the color wheel, they're known as complementary colors, and complementary colors always work well together. So I decided to use complementary colors with this piece. Blue on one side, orange on the other side. And just take my time and just work it through. I really enjoyed doing this piece. It was so soothing and it was kind of cathartic as well, doing pieces like this. I feel so at home, I feel so calm when I'm working with these types of colors. So at this moment in time, I'm working with my lightest blue. I'm almost done painting. Each time I put down a color, I want to note that I put 4 and 5 different coats. If you notice here, the strip of wood that I used, it's blue. I'm using just the dark blue, and even though it looks black, it's not really black. It's just multiple coats of blue. Now I had to get one of these containers to do my epoxy work. As you notice, I always use the art resin, which is a type of epoxy. It's a 2-part art resin that you mix together, and I pour it on the work. I make sure I get all the sides. I use my torch to pop all the air bubbles, and I set it. All right, so I'm gonna do the unboxing right now of the mask that I had glazed earlier. So I put it down in here, and I had put a coat of art resin over it, and let's see how it came out. Wow, that looks fantastic. That looks really good. That looks nice. Now, at this point, I realized that there's a lot of stuff when you do the masks like this. There's sometimes the back is not that perfect, and as I stated before, in any artwork that you do, you have to make sure that the back, all aspects of the artwork, is completed and done at a high quality. I'm an advocate for making sure that your entire artwork is perfect. So right here I'm fixing up the back, painting it over. I'm adding some screws so you can actually hang the work on the wall, making sure it's perfect, and after that the work is good to go. Person buys it, they'll be happy. All right, so there we go. So this piece is finished, and obviously I decided to use orange and blue. For those who don't know, orange and blue are complementary colors, and these are colors that do extremely well together. I decided to just use them, and experiment with how they would look in a sculptural form. So I just want to say thank you for all my viewers. Thank you for my subscribers. The subscribers are increasing, and I really enjoy the fact that I'm pretty excited at the number of people I've been getting for the past few weeks. And thank you so much for tuning in. Feel free to comment in the comment section below. Subscribe, like, hit the notification button, and join me next time, and just let's have some fun. Hey, remember, if you learned something from this video, keep doing what you're doing. Keep drawing, keep painting, keep sculpting, keep working at it. Don't be afraid. Thank you so much for the viewing, and I'll see you next time on Try's Art. Try and Francis Designs. I'm signing out.